Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced. And with the white pieces, today we have the magician Mikhail Tal, and his game is against, with the black pieces, is a player called Perez. I don't have any further information about him. So without further ado, let's start with this game because this game is going to be one insane learning experience. So here just e4, we have c5 just going for Sicilian defense, knight to f3, e6, but just d4. And we have c captures, knight captures, a6, knight to c3 going for the Khan knight variation, and we have this queen to c7, but here just going for this bishop to e2. We have knight to f6, a3, but here just knight to c6, and here just going for bishop to e3. This is the Taimanov variation or Bastrikov variation, and here we have bishop to e7, but here just castles, and an immediate f4 by Tal, just trying to go for an attack. And his opponent Perez has to be very much careful in this position because he could go for this knight captures on d4, but here after bishop captures you play d6, queen to d3, you play b5, and after so here a very nice prophylactic move, king to h1, but here after rook a to d8, you'll get this rook a to e1. And here after rook to d7, bishop to d3, you can see that those bishop pair are looking absolutely gorgeous, and you know that they are going to be very much good to attack with. And here after rook to e8, you play rook to e2, queen to d8, queen to s3, and here after bishop to f8, a4 and a5, you can see that trying to close those center. But here after bishop to f2, you can see that you can remaneuver that bishop. Maybe after the trades takes place, you can just get it back there on that diagonal. So a lot of options for white, but white is the one who's going to be pushing for a win. But here after f4, just d6 was played, but now just comes queen to e1. And here that queen is jumping there. We have knight captures on d4, bishop captures e5, but now again trying to just close up that diagonal, but we have f captures, d captures, and here just very nice thing that you now cannot capture because your queen is hanging. So here just bishop to c5 asking for a bishop trade, so bishop captures, queen captures, and that comes to the check. So king needs to move, king to h1, and here queen to e7. And here we have rook to f2, and those ideas of sacrificing on that f6 square would be possible once the rooks are doubled. So here just bishop to e6, and here just queen captures on e5. Tal grabs a pawn, saying that you may have missed this, and I'm just going to grab that pawn. So here rook f to e8, but now just queen to g3. We have rook a to d8, and in this position you could have also gone for this rook a to c8. And it's much more important to control these files, because here after bishop to f3, now you play this bishop to d7, and only after you play h3, now you can see that here queen to e5 comes asking for a queen trade, but now comes queen captures, rook to e1, and now everything will be shifted here. Bishop will jump on over to here, rook will be doubled here, rook will be doubled here, and everything will be shifted towards that pawn, because if black captures that pawn, white is going to be down a pawn, and endgame would go in favor for black. But here Tal will obviously not let that happen, and he's going to try and push for a win with that very nice isolated pawn. But here it could go anyone's way, and it's most likely going to end in a draw. But here after queen to g3, rook a d8 was played, and Tal here in this position smells blood, because you just have to give Tal a very little, and he will find it, and he will find the best move, and he will play it instantly, because in this position Tal goes for the absolute best move. Pause the video if you want to find it out yourself, but I'm just going to show you because it's just that beautiful. We have e5, and here after knight to d7, now I'm just going for this knight to e4. That knight is now going to be sacrificed here in this position, and that's going to give a lot to Tal. And here after rook to f8, but now just bishop to d3. That bishop will be an absolute monster on this diagonal. And here after king to h8, not going to allow any tactics. Knight to f6, immediately just going for it. And it can be captured, but you have to be very much careful. Lots of those files will open up, so you well, technically you should not do that specifically against Tal. So here he just goes for h6, but now just rook to e1, and we have knight to c5, rook to f4. And what you want to do is you want to play the move with the knight back, and those are the difficult ones to find, because here after knight to d7 you want to trade knight to knight, because here after queen to f3, b5, you play queen to e4, and here after g6, b4, and here bishop to a2. This is the crucial move in this line that you have to play, because here after h4, now you'll see that after h5, queen to e3, knight captures. After rook captures, you play this king to g7. And just after queen to g5, trying to attack and go for this tactic to try and win the queen, just queen moves back, rook captures on a6, just grabbing that pawn, rook to d5, threatening to pick up this pawn, but now just going for this queen to f6 check, king moves, and now finally going for e6, just trying and push it further so you can get this win. F captures, but here queen captures on e6 with a check, queen captures, rook captures, and here you get this queen to rook to f4. Very nice rook lift, allowed only because of this move. Rook captures on g6 check, king moves, rook to a7 check, king moves, and here only it is allowed because this bishop covers this diagonal, because now it's going to come that you're going to see that here after this rook to h6 move, you can see that that checkmate would be avoided if that bishop is on that diagonal. And here after rook caps on h4, king to g1, rook to d8, and here after rook to h8, bishop blocks. And you have to understand, you have to see all those moves into the future to be able to understand this, and that's only an engine can do. No human can perfectly actually calculate all of this. So instead of all of this, here after rook to f4, we have knight captures on d3, just grabbing that very nice, very strong bishop in this diagonal. But here just comes the problem, because here c captures, and what are you going to do about that knight? And here queen to c5 was played, but now this completely blunders the game. And here rook to h4 by Tal, and here in this position rook to d4, asking for a rook trade, but here just rook to h5, just declining it. And you can see Tal loses almost all his advantage in just one move, because that was not the best move in the position. The best move in this position, I'll just tell you, because Tal plays it just a few more moves later, because here rook to c8, but now that move can be played, and that move is just this beautiful queen to e3. And now you understand the problem, because once that is captured back, queen captures would be checkmate. So here rook to e4 was played, just trying to beg Tal in this position that, don't take that. But here Tal goes and shows his magic with rook captures on h6, and now mate will be following soon enough, and this comes with a tempo. So you have to either capture, you cannot move anywhere. So it's going to be mate in the next move, and in this position his opponent Perez resigned the game, and Tal got this spectacular victory in just 30 moves, absolutely obliterating his opponent with just going for this knight to f6 and sacrificing it. That knight has remained here for whole 8 to 10 moves, and now going for this rook captures checkmate. It's just absolutely magician like that he is. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with these games, such games which teaches you a lot about the position, strategy, and obviously the end game. So stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you all.